He's editor-in-chief of Breitbart News and a New York Times best-selling author. And on this podcast, he brings deep research, prescient analysis, and world-class guests. He's Alex Marlow, and this is The Alex Marlow Show.
All right, got a very festive episode of The Marlow Show today. It's a Christmas season here. We got all the Christmas stuff out yesterday at the Marlow house. We've had a rough go of it, though, because Snowflake, our black elf on a shelf, got mauled, got stabbed. I don't know what happened, but there's some damage done, significant, to Snowflake, the elf on the shelf. Really sad times here. We had to send her back to the North Pole, figure out what's going on. I can't tell if it's from a mischievous child or perhaps one of my beloved rats that I prefer over the snakes. That I did see one in the garage the other day. It made me wonder if maybe it wasn't the kids who did it, but really upset about that. And she's gone. She's taken off. So the magic's gone, though, if the kids touched her. Like, that's how it works. If you get an elf on the shelf, the kid touches her, she's worthless. But she's supposed to keep an eye on things for Santa. So we got all the Christmas stuff out, ready to rock, get the season going. Should be a great year. Things are going well in this country because, we're still ascendant. There's a lot of infighting going on, but overall things are going great. I will tell you one thing I'll be doing this year over Christmas is that I will be giving to Preborn. You guys know I've talked about Preborn. This was a campaign that we've had going on for a while, and it's a group that I supported before they were part of the show, and I courted them and wanted them to come here. And what it does is it gives ultrasounds to women, particularly young women and girls who are considering whether or not to terminate the lives that are within them in the womb. $140 gives 5 free ultrasounds and saves babies. $28 a month can give a baby a month. That's less than $1 a day. It's a good way to do it. And $15,000, one of you donated an entire ultrasound machine, which is amazing. So you could save babies for years to come, potentially. But what I'm excited about now is there's a dollar for dollar match that's going on right now. So your gift can save twice as many babies as it would have if you donated recently. So there's a match going on. You go to preborn.com/Marlow, 833-850-BABY. That's 833-850-2229. You can also go to alexmarlow.com. There's a Preborn banner. You can click on that. Make sure to hit my name in the drop down if you go over there to Preborn. Make sure that they keep track, as they should, and so we get some credit on the show. But overall, you donate today, then you're getting a double match, and that is fantastic. And it works out well for me because I've been planning to donate myself to Preborn, and I hadn't got around to it yet, and then now I'm going to do it during match time. So it's a great way to make this Christmas extra special for people because you could be introducing a mother to her baby for the first time, which makes her statistically twice as likely to give that baby a chance at life instead of terminating it in the womb, a decision that she'll likely regret forever. So we want to have happy people here in this country, and it starts with life. Life is what matters most. And I'll tell you what gives me life. It is the candidacy of Jasmine Crockett, who's announced she's running for Senate in Texas. Now, this is a seat that Republicans are likely to win, but I'll tell you, she's going to be providing a lot of entertainment along the way. And I'll say it's not a guarantee, by the way, because there's a lot of Republican candidates in this race. Probably going to have 3 or so viable candidates for this race, and all of them are going to have various degrees of baggage. So we don't know for sure, but I'll tell you, she looks like she's poised to be the Democrat nomination. She finna run for the Senate. Here it is, the announcement.
When Texas turns blue, it won't be because of any one candidate, but because of each and every one of you doing your part. Turning Texas blue is what I want to talk to y'all about today. Now, there are those that say, ain't no way, we done tried it 50 kinds of ways. Let me be clear, y'all ain't never tried it the JC way.
She is fired up. She's ready to go. And you guys may have tried it 50 different ways, but you ain't never tried it the JC way. And if that is not the message for all of us at this important moment, then I just don't know what is.
We used to telling us what I can't do, but they have no idea what Crockett's crew will do. And so I just want to be clear for all the haters in the back, listen up real loud. We gonna get this thing done.
She just throws in there's just so many unbelievable little Easter eggs. The more you pay attention, just listen up real loud. Like, what does that mean? Listen up real loud. It's going to be a delight. And we're going to get so much Crockett content, which is what makes me the happiest, because I do feel like she's here for me, which is why I recommend all of you. You go, you take out, if you're on your computer, then you can open up a new browser tab, or you can take out your phone. If you're on your phone, make sure you write a note yourself. Are you guys note keepers? I'm a big note keeper. I've got thousands of different notes, maybe at least hundreds of notes. A lot of good stuff in those notes. I'll tell you, make a note yourself. You go online, go over to preborn.com/Marlowe. You donate over there, matching, and then go over to the Jasmine Crockett for Senate website and you cut her a nice check. Make sure the content keeps coming for the Marlowe Show. We need this content. Here is another example of the content we are poised to get, we finna get, for the rest of this campaign. This is Crockett bringing a rapper to her campaign launch, and I got to tell you, this is one of the finest rappers of all time.
Let's get into it. Okay. She ain't never scared and she ain't never been. Who is willing to go toe-to-toe against the president? I can't wrap my head around someone who votes Republican. She advocate for feeding kids, they protect folks touching them. Trump invading his own country with an army, what a joke. We remember Pearl Harbor by illegally bombing boats, but y'all thought we wasn't gonna do nothing, buddy.
So it seems like so far doesn't understand when he votes Republican, and there seems like some reference to like the bombing of the drug boats is like Pearl Harbor. Okay.
Do nothing, buddy, think again. They only trying to scare out of running because they think she'll win. Listen, thought I told y'all we ain't never scared. Now look who name on the docket. Got 2 words for every racist bigot. Jasmine Crockett. Oh! Y'all hear the words.
So he's lost now. Those of you who are missing it on the screen, he is lost. He's trying to rap from his iPhone. Even though there is a prompter there, he's not using the teleprompter. The prompter is very visible, and he's not using that. He's trying to read off his phone. He's lost. You can hear the track in the background, and then he muttered, "Y'all know the words," as if anyone's ever heard this song before. This is just, this is like a vintage SNL parody. No, it's not an SNL. It's like a Chappelle show. This is like if Dave Chappelle 20 years ago launching a satirical campaign. This is what it would sound like.
Me, I hope my money goes to side that isn't trying to say affordability's a hope. She stand on business, all 10 toes. Texas dope, don't need no more bad built, bleach, blonde, butch bodies moving forward.
So I think that was Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's she's not on our good side anymore. I don't think, those of us who are committed to Trump. She was out there trashing Trump. I got it about Marjorie Taylor Greene crap. Look, this is what she's doing. She's milking it. She's going on. She's an anti-Trump figure on establishment media now. Check out what she's up to.
Heard there. President Trump posted yesterday that you are, quote, and I'm quoting him now, not America first or MAGA, and your, quote, new views are those of a very dumb person. That's the president of the United States speaking about you. What's your response to these latest attacks?
Well, actually, Wolf, I feel very sorry for President Trump. I genuinely do. It has to be a hard place for someone that is constantly so hateful and puts so much vitriol, name calling, and really tells lies about people in order to try to get his way or win some kind of fight. And I think that's exactly what's wrong in America today. That's what's wrong in this toxic political environment that has ripped our country apart. And I personally think that that's poor leadership from a president. It's a very bad demeanor, and Americans are very tired of it.
For her to go on CNN to complain about the toxic political environment and commiserate with Wolf Blitzer over this and whoever else is sitting with him is pretty retarded, I got to admit. Pretty retarded point by MTG, or the bleach blonde, as Jasmine Crockett calls her. But just know what she's doing. And she's going on establishment media outlets. She's milking it for the 15 minutes. And then she'll retire. She'll make it harder for the Republicans to maintain the House. And then we'll give away the whole opportunity to have a MAGA agenda. And then we will set ourselves up so it's more likely we'll lose in the midterms and lose in 2028. And then the Democrats can just, pack the court, investigate all of us, lawfare all of us into oblivion, debank, regulate everyone, regulate speech, all that stuff that we hate and stand against. Open up our borders again. All that. She's a part of the problem now, MTG. So whether or not you have something nice to say about her, all this stuff is just total betrayal of her own voters that she's going to step down just in time, though, to get that nice pension. She got a lot of money as a congressperson. She's made a lot of money. So that's a totally retarded stuff from MTG. All right, back to retarded stuff. So we got more Crockett. She is going to be out there. She's going to be talking a lot. And so we're going to get some content from her. She's going to be giving speeches. She's going to be popping up places. Let's hear some of what we got so far. Her on CNN.
How will you make voters who previously voted for Trump, particularly given that you have been an outspoken critic and he has inserted himself, just take your campaign video as is. He has inserted himself at every turn when it comes to your commentary. How will you convert those who are supportive of him to voters for you?
Yeah, I don't know that we'll necessarily convert all of Trump's supporters. That's not our goal.
Do you need to?
Our goal is to definitely talk to people. No, we don't. We don't need to. Our goal is to make sure that we can engage people that historically have not been talked to, because there's so many people that get ignored, specifically in the state of Texas. Listen, the state of Texas is 61% people of.
So just note this is the people who lament that we have a lack of unity, and she's just specifically saying we're not going for Trump supporters. That's not our goal. And this would have been very outrageous just pretty recently in American life, 10 or so years ago. You would have seen it almost as impossible as someone who wants to be a U.S. senator, particularly from a deep red state, if you're a blue person, to say that actually the approach would be, no, I respect people who don't support me. By the way, Mamdani uses these talking points all the time. He says that it's an honor for him to be able to represent the people who didn't vote at all or didn't vote for him. Like, that's usually the talking point. It seems to be more effective. He's saying, no, we're not here for Trump supporters. That's not our goal. We're here just we're going to reach people who've never voted before, who are in Texas, I guess, or something. It's not coherent. I'll let her go and see if she can recuperate from this. But it's a really interesting thing that the left openly panders now to their base and does not even pretend that they're going to be better representatives for normal people than Republicans. They're saying we're only representing our own side. That's where they're at. And it's not a positive development, particularly if you would like to have any sort of national cohesion.
Color. We have a lot of good folk that we can talk to. We know that when Beto came really close, Beto, who is a progressive, we know that he got.
She's, of course, talking about Robert Francis O'Rourke, Patty O'Rourke, the Irishman who cosplays as a Latinx individual, Robert O'Rourke.
That he got 65% of the Latino vote. So what did they do after that? They specifically went after Latinos. We know that he got close to 90% or right there at 90% of the African-American vote. So honestly, what we need to do is start talking to the vast majority of Texas. I think my message is very much a mainstream message. I don't know who disagrees with the fact that affordability is a real thing, except for the president, who says
affordability is a real thing. That is a mainstream message. That's true. This is good. I'm pausing now just so you all can get the wind up, because she's got to cook now, right? I mean, she's on the talking points. Let's see what her unifying message is. Affordability is a real thing. That's number one.
Who says it's a Democratic hoax. But when somebody goes to the grocery store nowadays, whether it's in East Texas or whether it's right here in Dallas, Texas, or whether it's in Austin or West Texas, let me tell you, they are looking at those grocery prices and they are thinking we deserve better. Knowing that we do the amount of trade that we do in the state of Texas, yet right now there are these unwarranted tariff wars that is directly impacting us, knowing that we do agriculture big in Texas. We do everything bigger in Texas, but we do ag big, and understanding that we are hitting record-breaking bankruptcy filings by our farmers. Listen, my message is real simple. I'm looking out for you, your survival, and the survival of your kids as it relates to affordability, being able to actually go and access health care, being able to send your child to school, being able to afford a roof over your head. If that's not, what Trump supporters want, then fine. Then they absolutely won't listen to me. But I'm here for the everyday person, the person that's not the billionaire on the list that Trump has decided to take care of, but the people that he left sitting out in the cold, just like he did when he decided to be sworn in, and he decided that Inauguration Day, he would have it inside while so many of his loyal supporters were outside.
Wow. So it was Trump's inauguration that he had inside because it was the coldest ever. Like, that was bad. That was really bad. Let's bust him on that. If you were in an 8th grade politics class or government class, and that was how you presented your arguments, I mean, that's not would you get a pass? Maybe you'd pass, but you're not getting an A on that. They're really not sending their best, the Democrats, to our Congress. Is that if you believe affordability is a real thing, if you believe you should have education and a roof over your heads and have access to health care, none of these things are things Republicans are against. Her point about the farmers, Trump has got a bailout cooked up for farmers, which I'll try to explore that on the show. We'll have coverage of that at Breitbart News. But it's obviously we want to have the best farmers. We only have the best farmers. So Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins is very engaged and involved. So she's one of the most proactive people in the cabinet. So I'm optimistic that stuff will work out. But other than that, what is she campaigning on? There's no message beyond Trump is a bad guy. And that's what we'll get. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing her as her platform cements itself, comes through. I think we're going to get just a lot of dynamite content from Crockett. I got one more, or I got a couple more. No, at least one more. Let's play some more.
I understood what was kind of pushing them there. And so I do want people to know that just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal. That is completely different. Being a criminal is more so about your mindset. Committing a crime can come for a lot of different reasons.
You guys got that? Being a crime doesn't make you a criminal, but being a criminal is about your mindset. Perhaps the mindset that might compel you to commit a crime. So just where we are, this is the uni crowd. We need to be unifying with them. I've been hearing about this, that America has gotten less unity. It's interesting when you hear people like Crockett also complain about inflation and cost of living and stuff, which he supported every single inflationary policy from Joe Biden. Every single one. Every single one. Whatever they were spending, she's for it. It's the all Democrats. It's not just her. It's all of them. That's where they're interchangeable. She just provides better sound bites, which is why I'm so excited about them. And they've got to test themselves against Mamdani, who provides much better sound bites. So AOC was asked about the claim that keeping men out of women's restrooms endangered girls, and let's hear her reaction and see if this comes off as mainstream normative.
It's disgusting, and everybody, no matter how you feel on this issue, should reject it completely. What are they doing? They're doing this so that Nancy Mace can make a buck and send a text and fundraise off an email. They're not doing this to protect people. They're endangering women. They're endangering girls of all kinds, and everybody should reject it. It's gross. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it endangers girls to not have men in women's restrooms, have men beating women in sports, and the only reason we care about is so Nancy Mace can raise funds. No, it's also interesting because she's not a parent, and it's just the thought of having your daughters having to go into a locker room and maybe the surprise male be in there, or having their youth sports getting ruined because some insistent woke family decided that they wanted their trans kid to dominate women's sports. It's so appalling to anyone with half a brain who stops and considers it for a second. And yet she accuses us of being the ones playing politics. It's a gift to us. This is my point. It's all a gift to us. Because they continue to elevate their most radical voices, and they reward them politically amongst themselves, the Democratic left. And it doesn't feel like they're understanding that they need to pull back completely from the wokeness if they want to have any chance of winning. So even Mamdani didn't run as a woke person. We know he's a far left person, but his messaging was much better than this. So we want all of them out there, but their base demands them go hard left. Think about this. We have a story at Breitbart News today about Gavin Newsom, who's going up in the polls in the Public Policy Institute of California, finding that as a governor of California and as a presidential candidate, his approval rating has jumped since he has kind of pivoted to more radical leftism. I played you some of the inane quotes of him saying we're going to democratize our economy yesterday, and him championing gerrymandering. So remember this, is that we got some good news, by the way, in the front with Republicans trying to pick up seats, but we got Indiana's new map is passed out of its Senate committee, which would net a couple more seats for Republicans. But Newsom gerrymandering California to disenfranchise more conservative voters, because again, they don't want unity. They say they want unity, but they don't want unity. He is getting his opinion is going up amongst Democrats. So when he's having intelligent conversations on podcasts with Charlie Kirk or Steve Bannon or Michael Savage, his poll numbers go down. But when he talks nonstop pablum about democracy, when he gerrymanders, and when he says a bunch of swear words about Trump, and then he does interviews where he twists his legs up into a pretzel, then all of a sudden his approval rating starts going up. So this is what the left demands. And so what it does is it raises the stakes, and that we can't let these people get power ever, because it's just a guarantee that all the worst things are going to happen. All the things I mentioned earlier, that when I was talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene, from the court packing to the bloating of the government to the opening up the borders again, to the endless importation of new people, to the deficit spending that'll pop inflation again. All that is back on. All the lawfare, all the debanking, all the cancellations, all that's back on. But this is just not a national message. This is a coastal metropolitan elite message, and that's who's breaking through on the Democrat side. They don't seem to see it. They don't seem to understand it. There is a woman who's the president of Voto Latino, and she was on MS Now, and the Maria Teresa Kumar is her name, and she was on MS Now, and she was talking about the unity, the concept of it. And I found this to be kind of unbelievable, and I wanted to share this with you, which I will do now.
But I think what's most important is that when they see Barack Obama, people remember a time in America where there was unity. They remember a time when there was calm, when they saw that there was actual opportunity for their families. And the contrast between the hate that the Republicans on the MAGA side keep pushing and someone who is very calm and collected and saying, look, this is where we are in America, but we don't have to be. Remember when I was president?
There was no unity at all. He was the most divisive president in history. He would pass landmark legislation, all of it along party lines completely, no bipartisanship whatsoever. He completely ramped up all the racial tensions, starting with the Trayvon Martin stuff and elsewhere. So he governed as a far leftist. There was nothing unifying at all about Obama. I'll tell you, it felt like there was some calm because Republicans were so weak. We were so castrated as opposition. But the positive is that gave a chance for outlets like Breitbart and for voices like mine and Bannon's and eventually Trump's, Stephen Miller's, voices like those to really kind of distinguish ourselves and to be able to start changing the country and the culture. Because the Republican establishment had completely taken a pass on providing any sort of meaningful opposition to Obama. But there's no unity. We didn't like anything that was going on. It's such a lie. It's such a lie. And it also just reminds people that the Democrats are really happiest when we're completely defeated and we have no voice whatsoever. I've been reminded of this in a couple of contexts because as we wrap up the news cycle of us bombing drug boats, we continue to bomb them, and we will, and it's a good thing. But people forget that Obama was just going around the world droning whoever he wanted, and no one seemed to care. So this came up in a Scott Jennings segment on the Thunderdome show with Abby Phillip on CNN. And this exchange, it includes Jeff Flake, who's one of the weak Republicans who I mentioned, who did nothing to stop Obama, one of the weakest guys around. And listen to some of this exchange.
Did you ever ask or wonder if Obama was committing war crimes?
Yeah. Jeff Flake's face is it's very interesting how he just presents himself. Like he's almost seems to be posing in a way that will optimize annoyingness. It's am I being too cruel, or are you all seeing this as if you're watching the screens? It just looks like he's just holding his face. He's carrying his face in a way that seems like it's designed to irritate anyone who's watching him.
For crimes?
Yes.
I mean,
we believe
I'll play again from the beginning.
Did you ever ask or wonder if Obama was committing war crimes?
Yes.
I mean,
we
spoke about that, and we spoke about that, but I can still critique these.
Do you believe they were? We had a lot of questions about.
How far back in history are we going to go?
For the record, okay, for the record, there was bipartisan outrage over President Obama's very liberal use of drone strikes.
Did anybody say Obama committed war crimes?
Hold on a second. Yes, many people did.
I don't.
Do any of you remember this? It was never discussed at all. I was running a major news outlet during all this, where I was a managing editor and then eventually editor-in-chief during this time when Obama was president. There was no discussion. No one cared. There were some people on the anti-establishment left who were saying he's bombing, he's droning too many people. But those voices were really de minimis. They were not major parts of the national conversation. The establishment media was just in hog heaven with how beautiful Obama was inside and out. They were just obsessed with him. They acted as though it was a Camelot-like situation. They didn't care that he was droning people.
People did. Many conservatives, many liberals did. So it just, my only point about that.
I got it. Oh, I got the screen cap. Oh, I got it. You always try to get it. I can't dwell on it too much. And, there's an organic nature of the show. We're on tape, but there's an organic nature. But I can always get the Scott screen caps. You see why he does well on TV. He's got good answers, but he manages to position his face in a much less annoying way than Jeff Flake does. But this is just so rich. That's why I'm smiling and laughing about this. It's so rich for them to act as though there's any consideration anything Obama did in the media was anything other than perfect. And the Republicans were just so ineffectual in framing him up. It was only the grassroots that did anything to frame Obama in negative light at all.
About that is that, look, I know we have short memories. I know we have short memories.
He's on the board at Netflix. It doesn't seem like anybody's holding it against him.
But this was actually a highly controversial thing.
Yeah.
You were actually, you were there, were you not?
Tim Kaine and I spent 6 years trying to change the AUMF to reform that so that Congress could have a say, because a lot of us were troubled with what was going on with these basically.
Did you use the phrase war crimes?
No.
Okay.
No.
Were you throwing it around a lot?
Have I used one here?
We're throwing it around a lot tonight.
War with Venezuela.
I haven't said that.
There were plenty.
Unbelievable. What a set of chompers.
Yeah.
The visuals, the Jeff Flake visuals, is what a set of chompers this guy's got. He's got the same dentist as Joe Biden. It's this real toilet bowl white going. And I don't know who's doing his spray tan. It's someone different than Trump, though. It's a pretty smooth spray tan. So, all right, that was fun. It's important to remind people of this because they've never wanted unity. They only want us to lose. That's what they want. And there's a lot of revisionist history going on, and we got to try to keep an eye on what are really the problems. I got a clip for you that will kind of blow your mind, because this is a Bush family member talking about what we need to be doing in order to preserve the future. And it involves cozying up to China. This is gonna blow your way. But before I do that, I do want to share with you what I've been doing as part of my daily recovery routine. Guys, I'm on, I got the new treadmill. I gotta tell you this. So I've had 6 runs already this month. So it's good. We're doing it. We're doing the thing, guys. You know what? That summer body's built in the winter, as they say. But part of it is that I've got to recuperate. And one of the things that I'm doing to make sure that I'm recuperating is I'm using the Super Palm 1050 from SunPower LED. It is, for those of you that are arthritis, joint pain, I'm talking to you, deep aches, slow you down. This is something that's really helping me. And with code Marlowe, you get 10% off. Super Palm 1050. It's handheld red light therapy. It's really kind of small device. You could target your stiff joints, sore muscles, everyday pain. It reaches deeper than typical red light tools. So, because it's got the near infrared. So you feel the relief where you need it. Heats up fast, or the sessions are quick. And it's built with a lot of safety features that make it so that it also cools down if you needed to. But I'm using on my knees and lower back, get that dad back going. But a lot of back issues over the years. Hasn't come up on the show for a while, but it really provides that relief when I'm trying to push myself a little bit. I really feel the difference. A lot of people use it on their hips. That's another popular place to target. But for me, this is just part of the routine. It's allowing me to get back working out more than I have been, and it's great. It's part of the recovery and helping me stay sharp. So when I'm looking extra good next year, then you guys will be saying, you know what? It's not just the workouts. That's SunPower LED Super Palm 1050. All right, 10% off for Marlowe if you do code Marlowe. So head over to SunPower LED and you can get that. You can get that as well. All right, we'll provide a link also in the descriptions, all that stuff. So important you get that. Good sponsor of the show, and you can help yourself doing something healthy. All right, let's play this clip for you because this is unbelievable. I caught this on Natalie Winters' X account. She works for War Room, also a alum of Harvard Westlake in Beverly Hills, where I went to high school, and a productive person, very anti-CCP. She catches Neil Bush, son of George H.W. Bush and chair of the Bush-China Foundation, outlining a plan for America to be less fearful of China. Check it out.
I spend very little time. David does all the heavy lifting for the Bush Foundation. I'm a businessman, and I think it's pretty imperative that we have more interaction between, government leaders. So let's give credit for the president's meeting. The more they meet, the more they'll have better understandings, the lower the tension we'll get, and hopefully the more normalized the relationship will look and the less fearful Americans will be of China. We need more minister to minister. We need more student exchanges. We need more exchanges on all fronts, cultural and all fronts, including business. And in fact, the business relationships that exist today from after 40 years of development, the roots of those relationships are so deeply embedded. American companies doing business in China, American companies buying stuff from China, Chinese companies participating on the U.S. stock exchanges. There's a deeply rooted relationship, and that's I think going to be kind of the ballast for the relationship going forward. So I'll give you one example of a collaboration that I've participated in. There are many areas of.
So this is the whole priority, claiming there's some sort of deeply rooted. What's our deeply rooted relationship with China? What is that? Is that they've been providing cheap goods that we got hooked on, and we shipped all our manufacturing over to China and devastated middle of America, largely under George Bush and George H.W. Bush? Is that what this is about? It's just so offensive, and obviously just designed to make money, and I just don't understand it. But this is a forum, the CUSEF, that a lot of people say is Chinese communist propaganda. But none of these things happen without the communist government of China approving it. It's very noteworthy that this is what the Bush family is up to. That they're trying to see how can we draw the United States of America and China closer together. That's the exact opposite of what we need right now. I saw a story that NVIDIA, which is one of the big chip manufacturers, is going to be selling certain chips to China, which it disturbed me. We're seeing is that they're going to send not their best chips over there, but they're going to sell some of their second-tier chips or something. But I don't like any of this. Why are we giving China our know-how? Why are we letting them benefit from the United States of America? They're our single biggest threat geopolitically. They engage in debt trap diplomacy, which is essentially hegemony all over the world. They don't freedom. They enslave people. They're communist. Human rights abuses, literal genocide going on right now, organ harvesting. What is the list of things that China has to do for us to just say, no, we're done working with them? But Trump's even green-lighting NVIDIA chip sales, which sparks security concerns for me. So I think their best chips are not going to be available to China. But the question is whether or not China is going to take this deal. But I don't see how we beat China in AI war if our big tech companies are giving them our know-how. So I just want to take this more seriously, and having the Bush family come in after being a part of the American leadership that led us to selling out to China to try to broker some sort of major relationship in front of a Chinese propaganda forum is just completely tone deaf to me. Let's see if you've got any more.
Is of low-hanging fruit for business cooperation. One is climate. So I've been working with an American company that has an interesting storage technology. It's never been built on a commercial scale. We brought a Chinese partner in to invest in the U.S. company. They also bought an exclusive license, and now they've spent over $100 million building this gravity-based storage solution in the renewable business in Rudong, China. So
how could we have survived without whatever that convoluted scenario is? How could we have made it as a people? America wouldn't be America unless that convoluted business deal that Neil Bush described got done. really interesting to know because there's a lot of, with amongst the conservative infighting, a lot of people throwing around we can't let the Republican Party get Bushified again. It's really important. Now, I want to be clear here. It's having Ronald Reagan be an influential voice in modern day Republican parties is great. I think that's positive. But all the Bush stuff is just horrific. And I'm moving past it. All right. That's what I'm saying with the unity stuff. There's a lot of, it's just so bogus. Like, I don't want to be unified with Neil Bush. I don't want to be unified with Jasmine Crockett. I don't want to be unified with Barack Obama. I don't want to unify with these people. There's no reason that you want to unify with the people who are, how about all the violent people? How about all the people who are fantasizing about violence against conservatives? How about Representative Hank Johnson, the guy who thought Guam might capsize because there's too many people on it? Check this out.
Yeah, we are the world's #1 bully, and we're using our immense, unrivaled power to rule over those who have less power. And
so this is on the Dean Obadala show, which is on SiriusXM, I think. He's a very far left commentator. And Hank Johnson says that America is a bully and we are bullying the less powerful people. And he speaks very slowly as if that gives him gravitas, but he still sounds like an idiot anyway. He sounds like a true retard, like truly sounds retarded. And the fact that it is that he wants America to be weaker. That's what he's doing. He's just saying that it's not good that America has any strength at all, that we would ever leverage our power to benefit the American people. No, we should be weak and subservient. That's what he wants for us.
We're doing it with impunity. And this sends a shocking message to the world that America is indeed what did they used to call the great hand of Satan or something like that?
What?
I mean, America under the Trump regime is demonstrating that moniker was entirely accurate. The great Satan. That's what we have become in this country.
What? I mean, I'm smiling, but I'm only smiling because of how insane it is. He's quoting Iranian propaganda, calling America the great Satan. See, under Trump, the great hand of Satan. I don't even know what that one means. But the Democrats literally think that we're satanic now that Trump is our president. So I shouldn't be smiling. It's so horrific. We cannot give these people power. All right. So Trump was sitting down. He sat down with Politico, and he is answering all sorts of different questions. These things I used to hate when he would do these things, but he tends to get the better of them. So someone named Dasha Burns, who pops up in my social feed. I don't know who she is, but I know she interviews people and it shows up on social. Let's hear what Trump's got to say on a variety of topics. Here's him on Venezuela.
How far would you go to take Maduro out of office?
I don't want to say that, but...
But you want to see him out?
His days are numbered.
Okay, so Venezuela, the Maduro's days are numbered, but Trump is not going to take him out. At least he's not announcing that he will. That seems to work for me. Here we go. So here's Trump on energy.
I inherited a mess. I inherited a total mess. Prices were at an all-time high when I came in. Prices are coming down substantially. Look at energy. You and I discussed before the interview, energy. Energy has come down incredibly. When energy comes down, everything, because it's so much bigger than any other subject, but energy has come down incredibly. Prices are all coming down. It's been 10 months. It's amazing what we've done. If you think of gasoline a gallon, they had it at $4.50, almost $5. You go to some of the states, you had it at $6. We hit 3 states 2 days ago, $1.99 a gallon. When that happens, everything comes down. Now, everything is coming down. With beef, I've just opened that up where beef is going to start coming down pretty substantially.
All right, so this is important because he's got to start putting markers down. Things if he's confident, if he's got details, he's got data, things beef's going to come down. Putting the marker down is good, but he can't be wrong. If he's wrong, they'll play the clips back. It'll be campaign ads against Trump. Susie Wiles was talking about how the goal is to get Trump on the ballot in 2024. 26. I think that's a noble goal. I think that's the correct goal. But we're going to have to solve some of the affordability stuff. And right now in Washington, what's being debated is healthcare because more Obamacare subsidies run out at the end of the month. So Republicans are going to have to do something. And this is a tough one for us because the Democrats are the ones who came up with the current healthcare scheme. They're the ones who came up with Obamacare, which has Affordable Care Act, which healthcare has gotten drastically less affordable since the Affordable Care Act's inception, and seemingly healthcare has not improved much at all. So that is a burden that the Democrats should have, but yet somehow they've made it so that we in the right are the ones who perceive as having no vision for healthcare. So what do we do? How do we make sure that people's insurance premiums don't wildly go up, that their care doesn't get markedly worse? Because we're in charge now and we're expected to do something. So Trump was asked about this quite a bit during this interview. So let's hear, we got a couple of clips. This one's on Obamacare itself.
Obamacare was set up for insurance companies to become rich, okay? That was why they, in my opinion, I think the Democrats did it for that reason. Do you know that insurance company stocks have gone up 16, 17, 1,800% over a short period of time? They've been paid trillions, not billions, trillions of dollars. And what I'm saying is very simple. I don't want to pay them anything. No money for the insurance companies. Sorry, fellas, I know them all. No money for the insurance companies. I want to pay the money directly to the people and let the people get their own health care. But you know who's fighting me in that? The Democrats.
It's good. It's just good messaging. I got some more here.
What I'm going to do is, if the Democrats go along with it, which they don't want to because they want to make the insurance companies very rich, okay? I want the money to be paid to the people to go out and buy their own health care instead of paying to the insurance companies. Their stock has gone up 1,700% in a short period of time. Did you know that? 1,700. You wish your corn went up, right? But the insurance companies' stock has gone up by 1,700%, 1,800%. They're taking in trillions of dollars. I don't want to pay the insurance companies anything, and I know a lot of them, but they're owned by the Democrats, and the Democrats have. Obamacare is a setup to make insurance companies rich. And I want to pay the people, and I want the people to go out and buy their own health care. And that's what we want to do, and that's what the Republicans want to do, because Obamacare is a disaster. And I said it 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago. It was always a disaster. It's bad health care that's too expensive for people. And now your premiums, and you said it better than I said it. You said the Obamacare premiums are going to go up. They're going way up. And what I want to do is have the money. And you know who's getting that money? A lot of it is the insurance companies. I want the people to get the money and go out and buy their own health care. And everybody wants that.
He's such a premium messenger, and he's got the talking points, I think, down. He's got them in a way that I'll tell you something that is a reality in communications, that you want to be able to communicate in a way that does not go over people's head, and particularly when you're trying to get tens of millions of people on your side. Let me play for you again a little clip I thought was really powerful.
They're taking in trillions of dollars. I don't want to pay the insurance companies anything, and I know a lot of them, but they're owned by the Democrats, and the Democrats have. Obamacare is a setup to make insurance companies rich. And I want to pay the people, and I want the people to go out and buy their own health care.
Obamacare is a setup to make the insurance companies rich, which are owned by Democrats. And he wants the people to be able to get the money so that they can pay for their own health care. I mean, this is pretty crisp. And this is the sort of thing that I think Republicans can work with. I think if Republicans have the opportunity to sell something like that, they're going to have a chance. But they're going to have to break through the establishment media stranglehold on this topic. It gets wonky. It gets boring for people who have busy lives. They don't necessarily want to hear all this stuff. And it's going to be on President Trump to try to put that message out there that there is a productive solution to the healthcare issues that we've got going. And we're going to have to figure it out this year. So we'll have a lot of updates for you at Breitbart News on this. And it is one where we have a real opportunity, I think, to outpace some of the Republicans of yesteryear, but it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough battle because Republicans are going to have to do something. All right, last one I want to leave in your mind for the day that I think is really worthwhile is that Australia has launched a social media ban for 16-year-olds and younger. And this is something that I applaud. I think this is terrific. I think I've got some credibility here as someone who makes his living with social media a part of my day on a constant level, as someone who's benefited greatly from social media over the course of my career. I still think that it's very bad for the soul. I think that as we've gotten addicted to our phones and are addicted to social media in particular, we've gotten a very false sense of what reality is like. I think we've gotten increasingly more depressed. I think we've gotten godless during this time. And particularly with younger people, younger women, of course, more than anyone else, have just gotten this completely warped and negative view about the planet from this. They either feel insanely inadequate or insanely jealous. It fosters mental health problems. It fosters online anonymous bullying. And it needs to be kept to a minimum. I don't think it should be banned in the United States for grownups. I think grownups should be free to do what they want to do. But there's no one in their life who wishes they use social media more. Everyone wishes they were on it less. Everyone wishes they were less addictive. And we need to see that this is the beginning. This is a major domino. This is the first domino to fall in the world. Young children should not be on it at all. I think teenagers really shouldn't be on it at all. And I think that most adults don't benefit very much from being on it. And I say this as someone who's on it pretty much constantly. It does not make me feel good. I log into those apps. I'm always depressed when I'm on it. And I just imagine being a young person who's just learning their way in the world, and you're getting your world curated and filtered by the big tech people combined with online influencers who are just essentially manipulators for the most part. I mean, most of them are not bringing anything that is of substance. Most of them are bringing things that are just simply gaming the system and gaming an algorithm without any standards. And that's just not a great formula. So I think the formula, I don't know if it'll end. I don't think this trend we're in will end forever. But I do think we're going to see over time a huge pullback from our addiction, our dependence to social media. I think the way people walk around staring at their phone, I would like to see that take a lesser role in our society. I think it might be looked at as more frowned upon to constantly have your phone out, constantly be looking at it, particularly if you're on one of these addictive social media apps. And so Australia launching a youth social media ban, I think, is really great. I think for children, it's a great thing. There's a book called The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt, which is very popular. It's a perennial bestseller now. It's constantly New York Times bestseller list, which I read, where he kind of lays this out. I think his number is 16, where you should have no social media use until 16, and then it should be limited thereafter. So this is a positive, and I want to see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully it works out, because trust me, the children who have a play-based childhood will benefit greatly from those who have a phone-based childhood. The evidence is crystal clear. The data's in, and observationally, it's just true as well. So I'm glad to see that. So I think a positive development in Australia, not here, but somewhere in the broader Anglosphere. We'll call it the Anglosphere, trying something out. I think productive. All right, that's today's show. Thanks to Misty for putting it together. John Cassio for pulling clips. See you tomorrow.